Hi traders, my name is Duncan Cooper and I'm a Senior Market Strategist and Trading Mentor at AUDJPY Securities. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the key trading levels for the week ahead for the pairs the Australian dollar to the Japanese yen, the Australian dollar to the US dollar, the euro to the Japanese yen, the euro to the US dollar, the pound to the Japanese yen and the pound to the US dollar. So let's get into the first pair. Hi traders, hope you had a great trading week. Now I'm on the Aussie yen daily chart, got my monthly, weekly, daily support and resistance levels all drawn in. They're referenced in the description below. Now, highly volatile come the end of the week. Last week when the Bank of Japan came in and intervened, so it's a little bit more difficult to determine where price might go through the coming week. Does more intervention come into the market? Is that creating a sell-off environment? So ultimately last week on Friday we came up to test 95.73, this weekly resistance area across here. So on Friday we did hold there, then the Bank of Japan came in and pushed prices down. Now we're back below 94.68 daily resistance. So at the start of the week, that is the level to watch. First of all, does price hold and remain at 94.68? So we could see a rally Monday. What happens at 94.68? Does that hold as resistance? If it does, we could well then see a movement back down to retest the 92.12 day support level. Of course, this level could not hold and we could see a retest of the weekly resistance level up here. Alright, so at the start of the week, the key level to watch would be 94.68. Does that hold as resistance for a continued decline from Friday's sell-off back down to today's support? Or are we seeing a further movement back up to retest 95.73? Alright traders, moving on to the Aussie dollar. Now, yes, on Friday we had Bank of Japan intervention, plus there was some headline news saying that the Federal Reserve, after the November interest rate rise, may move to lower interest rate rises. So that created some US dollar sell-off. So the Aussie dollar was weak on Friday, but then finished strong. Traded up to 63.47 to 63.63 daily resistance. So at the start of the week, this is the level to watch. Does this level hold as we move into a new week to move back down into this consolidation area, or does US dollar weakness follow through into next week? And are we moving higher to potentially challenge 65.47 daily resistance up here? So we'll just have to wait and see what the start of the week brings. Can resistance hold, or do we break above it? Alright, moving on to Euro Yen. Now we did have a strong week up last week. We moved above 145 monthly resistance. We've got weekly resistance here. I think that's at 145.63. And then the Bank of Japan came in. Now we did close at or above this level here, but intraday, especially on the 4-hour chart, this is in a downtrend. Will Friday sell off follow through into the new week? So at the start of the week, watch 145.68. Does price start to move below that level? If it does, we could then well be seeing a further retest of 144.03 day support. Does that hold as support, or do we move lower? Last time we had intervention, I think it was this large candle here, we had a further 2 days of follow through. So will we get a further couple of days of follow through or not? So 2 levels to watch. Do they remain as support now? Does 145.68 hold as support? That's monthly support. If it doesn't, does then 144.03 day support hold? Okay, we could see a movement back down the range following Friday's intervention. We are quite overextended to this high. We've had this long move up. Last time we had a long move up, we had a healthy correction. So are we going to get a healthy correction here? Of course, at the start of the week, 145.68 could hold and we could be moving back up to challenge the high of last week. Alright, so to support hold at the start of the week. Alright traders, moving on to the euro dollar. Pretty much all the week we were holding at 98.64. Even in Friday's volatility in the New York session, we remained at 98.64. We didn't break above. So at the start of the new week, that's the level to watch, 98.64. Do we continue to hold here for a movement back down the range? Can we move back down to test 96.32 day support? Okay, of course, this level could break at the start of the week, and then look at the following levels. 99.04, that's long-term weekly resistance now, and 99.52 weekly resistance. Are we rallying further up to re-challenge these levels? All right, but we did hold at 98.64 all week last week. So will that hold for a move back down the range? Ultimately, at the moment, this pair is rather consolidatory, but 98.64 held all week. Will it hold next week? All right, moving into the pound crosses, the more volatile crosses, especially the pound yen here. Now, through the week, I was discussing 168.72 monthly resistance. Was that going to hold as resistance for a movement back down? Ultimately, yes, it did. Trend, though, structurally still up on the day chart here, but with the intervention on Friday, are we going to see a further move back down the range? So this could still be weekly support here at 167.35, even though we did close below. So at the start of the week, that's the first level to watch, 167.35. Does price move back above that level, or is it now turning into resistance? So does it hold as resistance at the start of the week for a movement back down to, again, retest 165.71 day support? Can price move below that level? If it does, we could see a continued move down to this daily level of support. It's going to be interesting next week. Does the Bank of Japan continue with their intervention? Of course, at the start of the week, if we start to trade and hold above 167.35, we will probably come up and re-challenge weekly and monthly resistance up here. And then, do we see a further hold here for a move back down, or are we continuing higher to challenge last week's high? So structurally, we're still in a day chart uptrend, but we failed at monthly resistance. We've got Bank of Japan intervention. Does that continue? If it continues, for sure, we're moving down the range. So highly volatile. If it's too risky, you can just stand on the sidelines and wait for the risk to subside. So first level to watch next week is 167.35, that weekly support. Is it going to be support, or is it now moving to resistance for a movement down to further challenge 165.71 day support at the start of the week? Alright traders, moving on to the pound dollar, last pair to review for the weekend. Now, for about 3 weeks now, we've been testing 113.50 day resistance and 114.09 monthly resistance. We failed over here, moved down. Last 2 trading weeks we've been testing this area once more, and ultimately last week we did fail there. And even in the volatility of Friday, we were down a good 150 pips at one point on the pound, but then we finished positive on the day. But we couldn't get back up to 113.50 in the volatility of Friday's trading. All right, we didn't even trade quite there on Thursday. So even though this looks like it's very positive on the finish, we may well just hold at the 11300 level at the start of the week and simply start to drift back down. So the area to watch still is 113.50 up to 114.09. Does that area remain as resistance once more for a further week of testing for a movement back down? And can we move down to test the recent day support level at 109.23? Of course, if the US dollar weakness prevails from Friday, we could obviously see a move above these resistance levels. Alright, so those are the levels to watch. Do they remain as resistance for a further move down next week? Okay traders, that's my analysis for today. If you want to keep up to date with my analysis, simply subscribe to the channel. I look forward to seeing you next time. Now if you'd like to follow my forex trading analysis throughout the week, why not subscribe to the ACY Securities live interactive trading feed Telegram channel. Simply contact Nathan.bray at acy.com to get access.